Yes, sir. What's up, what's up, what's up? It's like a huge rip. Just a huge fart rip. Someone just farted in your mouth. Doing your vet tech homework, nice. Question 1. Is this a hamster or a bunny rabbit? Which of its legs is lucky? Dark Side of the Moon's one of your favorite albums of all time? Nice, yeah. I figured it'd be good to have, like, the instrumentals. How's my day? It was a good day, I think. I don't know, it went by in, like, a weird blur. I don't think I did anything other than, like, upload tomorrow's compilation video and eat food. It's kind of crazy. Like, the second I start counting calories, the weight just starts falling off. And, I don't know. It feels good, I guess. Managed to not be doing crochet listening today, but who knows where the stream will take me. It's alright. I think crochet and listening is... They are two things that were built for each other. Sitting next to the radio late at night. Am I a heavy daddy? No, I'm just, you know, bulking and cutting kind of thing. But I am, you know, I was like 212 pounds this morning. Trying to get down to 185 and see how I feel. I probably will lose some strength, but my hope is to not lose strength. My hope is to keep being strong. Saul Montoya, thank you for the 10, my friend. First ever super on live stream. You got your key to your own home now. Hey, congratulations, Alicia. That's awesome. But I got abs. Not really. They're in development. They're going through research right now. R&D. I mean, you can kind of see them, but it's definitely not what I would like them to be. You're 126 pounds, 5'1". That's cool. It means you can fit into all the hobbit holes whenever we need you to come root them out with a flamethrower. What color are my eyes? Orpal. Road trip listening. Nice. Where you going? Gotta enjoy a good road trip. Dude, it's dark in here and it's so creepy when Pradeep just like sprints across the room. Even though I know it's him, it just like looks like a fucking giant spider. What's my workout split? So tomorrow will be back day. And usually I try to do like compound lifts at the beginning of each day, so say, well, let's go with Wednesday, since Wednesday's squat day. So I'll try to, you know, I do a 5-3-1 strength program for major lifts, and then after that, it's just like trying to work through working till failure for like the legs, which kind of blows sometimes because as I'm cutting, I feel like I get cramps and it's kind of annoying as shit. Can I shout you out? The Michael Jackson Kid, what's good? How tall am I? I'm 5'10". Let's get ready to get spooky. You're also fun size. Prepared to crawl through the trenches. Would I date someone who doesn't work out and doesn't eat healthy? I would have to indoctrinate them into working out and attempting to look out for themselves, because, you know, I just think people who work out and eat healthy are just more attractive, you know what I mean? And not even just physically, it's like, it's just psychologically more healthy to like discipline one's self a little bit, you know? Cutting is so hard, especially during the holidays, and you're a unit if you're 212 or 5'10". Oh, thanks. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What else is there to do with life other than lift the weight? Make babies, I guess, right? Try to work out in high heels and make sure you put icy hot on your legs and put ibuprofen before you go to bed. That would be kind of interesting, actually. I guess you could get some pretty good sissy squats with high heels on. Oh, shit! Ah! Someone should set that as their alarm. What song is this again? Time. Dude, Time for Pink Floyd should be your fucking morning alarm. That'd be so sick. It's actually a great wake up song. Doot doot. Doot doot. Cardio. Oh god, cardio. It's the worst one. Why don't you like it, Shell? Squatting your tiptoes. Yeah, no, I know. It's it actually is. I really do, or you know, you can. I guess you can do it in the hack squat area. But I don't think I have a hack squat available. Would I like Santa to bring me this year? Some free time and some, I don't know, something fun to do, you know? I feel like you get on social media, and like more so lately I see people who just like sometimes I'll click on like PewDiePie videos, and I know he's like wildly successful and it's not really like fair to compare yourself and stuff, but like I look at like the fact that he just like does something all the time and just seems extraordinarily happy, and I'm like, that's fucking awesome, dude. I want that. Oh, you did the intro. I did actually use that as an alarm at one point. Oh, that's awesome. What's up, Ori? I saw the Lions were actually doing pretty good this year. Hey, Joel, Mario Kart or Mortal Kombat for tonight? Probably Mario Kart. Seems a little more chill. I did watch all the fatalities for the new Mortal Kombat, and it actually like blows my mind when you like think that I'm like not a fan of this cover. Something about it sounds like harsh on the ears. Why am I not happy? I'm just bored, I guess. I'm not like this is like the this here, this stream is like the one thing in my life one of the things I look the most forward to. It just, I feel like I don't get to socialize a whole lot, or rather I just notice like as I'm getting older, people that you know you used to socialize with, they just don't want to do it, you know, anymore. Or they just like are less inclined to do it, or there's really nothing to do, and it's understandable, but it kind of terrifies me because I'm like, fuck, man, I don't want to be bored for like the last 2/3 of my existence, you know? That's fucking lame. What's up, Terry? I'd just like to have more people to spend time with. I hate it here. What do I usually eat for lunch? Well, I kind of like split my meals up into 2 meals lately, with the calorie count bullshit. Like in the morning I'll have oatmeal and eggs and mixed berries with honey. What the fuck? I do not like... I'm sorry, guys. I do not like these covers for some reason. They just sound really, like, discordant for... I don't even know. I don't know if you guys heard it or not, but it just sounds, like, really out of tune for some reason. Or, like, they're using the wrong instruments to play what they want to play. Sorry. Anyways, mixed berries with honey. And then, what was the other bullshit? Oh, yeah, like a protein shake. And then later on, I had two hamburger patties. And some more protein shake. And it's so fucking lame, dude. I don't know. It's just like, take any workout supplements? I just take protein and creatine. I guess like multivitamin. Magnesium at night. Anavar. No, I'm just kidding. It's a steroid. But it was funny when I was like seeing that like people who like on certain tests that they did on people pertaining to like the steroids they take. They did one, you know, group for 12 weeks or whatever that took no steroids and didn't work out. Then they did a natural group that just worked out for 12 weeks without steroids. And then they had another group that worked out with testosterone injections. And then they had another group that worked out, they had another group that didn't work out and took testosterone injections. And then the people that took testosterone injections without, I think it was like 300 milligrams or something, they took some without working out. They got like they increased like twice as much muscle as people who like worked out naturally. And it was just like such a sad realization. 7-leaf clover with the two says, put yourself out there again. Hey, you got it. Put myself in the grinder, the meat grinder. Gonna walk around with a big trench coat on. David De La Rosa Jr. with the 1. Thank you, my friend. Favorite philosopher? Well, you know, I might have to say, at least right now, but sometimes people bring up certain philosophies or ideas that I resonate with better, and I feel like I'm not, even though I listen to a lot of their stuff, sometimes I like kind of forget who it was that said what, but I definitely resonate very heavily with Marcus Aurelius. But I've always been like semi-curious if like, it always says he was like one of the last great, yeah, with the Philosopher's Stone, that he was like one of the last great emperors of Rome, or like the last good ones that weren't like, you know, totalitarian-esque and destructive to the population. But I've always kind of wondered if maybe just history is written that way. But then I suppose also, like, seeing as that's his writings, maybe that would indicate that he is chill. Can we go back to how you're lonely in New York? I mean, I know we're not the nicest, but we're still cool as fuck out here. Wait, in New York? I'm not in New York. Or what did you mean? Sorry. Unless the NY meant something else. What's my favorite album from Michael Jackson? I like what's the album where he's like laying with a little baby tiger? Is it Nietzsche or Nietzsche? You're a Nietzsche guy? Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there's definitely stuff that Nietzsche says that's, you know, I'm sure there's anything that anybody could say that could resonate with certain personal philosophies, but sometimes listening to Nietzsche is just, I don't know, just the nihilistic perspectives can be a little bit depressing. Is he also the one that has the Uberman, the Ubermensch or whatever? And I don't know, it's like sometimes you kind of understand the perspective of like wanting to evolve like humanity to the point where we're all like Spartan soldiers or some shit, but I also feel like that's a really abstract perspective. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I guess I guess Jesus would be a philosopher in that sense. Yeah, one of my favorite books in the Bible, looking back on it, was, what's the one that means teacher? I think it starts with, was it Ecclesiastes? Am I thinking of the right one? It's a Hebrew Bible, part of the wisdom literature of the Christian Old Testament, commonly used in English, blah, blah. Yeah, was that the words of the teacher, son of David, king of... Yeah, it starts out, meaningless, meaningless, utterly meaningless. Everything is meaningless. What do people gain from all their labors at which they toil under the sun? You know, it's like, it's one of those books where I feel like it doesn't really, like, coincide very well with the philosophies of the Bible. And therefore, I feel like I almost enjoy it more so. Do I read Bible passage on the channel? I think I did when I first started out. I'm not sure if they're still on there or not. But... Hey, Mega with the 5 says, yeah, Joel, put yourself out there, but do not settle for basic B's, or Spooky Daddy deserves the best and no less. I got you, don't you worry. Schopenhauer's the most based. Yeah, let's see what... I listen to a lot of philosophy channels, but then you say the specific guy, and sometimes my brain draws a blank, but... Because I know the name Schopenhauer, or Schopenhauer, sorry, Schopenhauer. Schopenhauer Schmidt. Let me ask Chat BBC. Arthur Schopenhauer was a 19th century German, so his concepts include will. Schopenhauer believed that the fundamental nature of reality is a blind and irrational force called will. This will is the driving force behind all human actions and desires. The word as representation, Schopenhauer argued that the world we received is a product of our mental representations. We can never know the thing itself. Wait, yeah, was Schopenhauer the one that like focuses very heavily on like words? Where he's like, since words take on different meanings, I don't even know. It's almost as if though they hold no meaning or something. You like the clickety keyboard? Yeah, I'm not a big... You can have this keyboard, honestly. Not a fan. Find some stories from Kansas. I feel like I had to have done something from Kansas at some point. But yeah. Thought I would ask about your philosophical views, as some of these stories are heavy. Just finished listening to the Tinder vid. Yeah, my philosophy is stay off Tinder. Your confidence and your soul will thank you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure some people find long-term relationships in Tinder or whatever, but I think it just... A lot of these applications feed into like people's sort of like consumeristic perspectives of like instant gratification, and sometimes that's makes it's not that it's not it's understandable, but it also puts like a huge barrier between like having an earnest interaction with another human being. You think you might have a homeless stalker? It's so weird. Here's the trick. If you give him $2, he will fight for you if you're ever jumped by anybody. It's kind of like in Resident Evil 4, whenever you save that dog from the bear trap, he'll come back out of nowhere later to help you fight El Gigante. And he'll have like a bat with nails on it. Everyone in Tinder is on the verge of a breakdown. It does kind of seem like that, because, like, I don't know, you look at their profiles a lot of the times, at least the one, obviously, me being a guy, it's going to be a little bit different experience, but it was always just, like, constantly, like, really, really hyper negative profiles. Like, nobody on there ever seemed very happy with their experiences dating, which makes sense that they're on there, but at the same time, it just seemed like they were so ready to kind of lump you into a big stack of not so good people. Do some more hunting stories. That'd be dope. Yeah, if you guys have any stories, definitely send them in. Reddit r/letsreadofficial or letsreadsubmissions@gmail.com. Tinder was way too overwhelming. I deleted after a week. That's fair too. How does dating apps work for your faceless YouTuber? Just gotta keep it low key. Met your partner of 5 years on Tinder, but to be fair, only met 2 other people on that app. Yeah, sometimes you hit it. You hit the jackpot. My friend, actually, he dated someone for like 6 years that he met via Tinder, but they were also like permanently long distance, so it didn't really work out. That also is always going to be an issue for people if they never like plan to kind of like mitigate that issue, I feel like. All right, anyways, tonight, guys, thanks for being here. Tomorrow's video is going to be a compilation video. You know, you've probably seen many of those. It's 2.5 hours, so that'll be sick. Remastered audio sounds great, etc., etc. But tonight, once a month, as always, we do bonus content. And obviously, if you're in the stream and you're not a member, you get to hear the story. It's not going to be like nice and edited as you would normally expect until it makes it to YouTube and Patreon. I think it's only $5 a month or $4.99, well, depending on the tax. But anyways, this is going to be an interesting sort of series of bonus content that's focused around like the second person. So you guys are going to have to give me some feedback on whether or not you like this, because it was an idea that you guys might remember Sam Riding. He has helped me with some bonus content as well as true crime, well, historical, you know, true crime, stuff like that content. And therefore, he needs to hear your feedback either through comments here or comments on the video once it goes live. And so just let me know if you like the way that this is narrated and the way it's told. It's going to be a little bit unconventional, but just think of it like you're in like a first-person shooter or some shit, and you're getting woken up by a big injection in your butt or something. All right. Breathe in. Is the breath as pure as your first? Lung inflating, consciousness generating. I feel like it should be lungs inflating. You get one lung. Everyone here has one lung for this story. Suspend your disbelief. Lungs inflating, consciousness generating. You open your eyes, but only darkness greets you, and aside from your own panicked breathing, the only other sound to be heard is the gentle tapping of raindrops on steel. You try to stand, but something is holding you in place, clamping you to your seat, leaving only your arms and legs free to move. The past is a great dark void. You have no memory of how you got here, no memory of yourself. You are trapped in the darkness, nameless and alone. You realize something is attached to your face, and when you reach up to touch it, your fingertips are blocked by a hard metallic protuberance near your mouth. You're wearing a mask, one that's fitted so tight it aches, but when you try to remove it, the pain is unbearable. As you attempt to draw deeper and deeper breaths through the mask, you find yourself descending into a panic. You shove and wrench at your restraints as frustrated grunts crescendo. Hey, Laura Steele, welcome to the Buttersock Cult. You now have access to bonus content, and soon to be... Oh, wait a second. Oh, nope, we're connected. Somebody said that their connection was bad. Might have to lower their connection to a lower, from 1080p to 720 penis. Chat slow to load too. Fuck. I don't know. I thought I could get away with, since the changes that YouTube made, I thought I could get away with changing the latency, and I have it on the middle setting. Oh, it's your VPN server. Okay, that would make sense. That would put a little bit of... That's the only bad thing about VPNs. It seems like it slows shit down sometime. But yeah, I don't know. Anytime anybody ever talks about like issues for buffering, I always you're on 480p. Damn. All right, maybe I'll have to switch it back eventually to just the lowest setting, the least strenuous on your guys' end, because For whatever the fucking reason ever, YouTube, I don't know, it just doesn't seem as, like, responsive in real time and as easy on everybody's system as, like, Twitch's. So I don't know if they could have some, nerds come in and take a look at that. Call the nerds. Call 1-800-NERDS ROPE. It's how Willy Wonka died. Alright, anyways. As you attempt to draw deeper and deeper breaths through your mask, you find yourself descending into a panic. You shove and wrench at your restraints as frustrated grunts crescendo into trembling wails. You kick, you scream, twisting and turning your body until suddenly the left side of your neck begins to tingle as if grazed by a finger of frost, and you feel yourself begin to calm. Instead of wrestling with your restraints, you lean into them, feeling the chemical tingle working its way through your body. It feels like a mother's love, though when you try to picture your own, only a blank, featureless face hangs silent in your mind. You hope the feeling lasts forever, but it doesn't, and soothing pitter-patter of the raindrops is... And the soothing pitter-patter. Yeah, call the YouTube Geek Squad to fix this shit. But it doesn't, and the soothing pitter-patter of the raindrops is suddenly and violently drowned out by the roar of machinery. You feel your seat begin to move. You wonder if you truly are shrouded in darkness, or if it's your mask acting as a blindfold, and as the thought overwhelms your exhausted, narcotics-addled mind, disorientation ushers in a dull anxiety. This time, there is no tingling in your neck, no overwhelming sense of bliss. Instead, a deep red glow suddenly banishes the darkness, illuminating your... Illuminating, okay. Amanda Funk with the 5 says, "What up, Joel? Hope all is well. I went on a date and it was so good. I'm so happy to be on the stream tonight." Hell yeah. Nice, Amanda. Congrats. I'm glad it went well. Thank you for the 5. Instead, a deep red glow suddenly banishes the darkness, illuminating not only your temporary prison, but also your fellow prisoners. One is sat to your left, the other to your right, with a contraption that contains you being triangular in structure. Both men's faces are covered by what you can only assume is the same variety of mask that you've been forced to wear. They appear as hideous, obsidian skulls, complete with rubber flaps that cover the ears and an opaque, tinted visor. One man seems perfectly calm. The other seems terrified beyond reason. And just as you once did, he grips the restraints with white knuckles, his shoulders rising and falling in quick succession. You feel his terror in the pit of your soul. He is a mirror image in almost every facet, but just as it occurs to you to reach out and comfort the man, another roar of machinery proceeds in an announcement from a cold and mechanical voice. "CDV stability optimal. Prepare for descent in." The word barely finds purchase in your mind before the mechanical voice begins a countdown. 5. You look to your companions, one still unmoved, the other hyperventilating. 4. The panic of the two begins shaking his... The panicked of the two. Shit, something fell off. Hey Bix, welcome. Yeah, we're just recording some bonus content. For anybody that wants to get a hold of the bonus content, there's over 25 videos on that playlist now. Just gotta click that big old join button. But if not, you can just listen to this live stream here and get the gist of the story anyways. It's just not going to be like flawless, you know what I mean? Also, if you stick around, somebody might gift you one too, which is cool. You just have to turn your gifts on, I think, in your settings somewhere on YouTube or your Google profile or some shit. I forget how you do it. The panicked of the two begins shaking his head back and forth, begging, pleading for mercy. 3. You feel your heart rate increase as the terror of uncertainty takes hold. 2. You grip your restraints, your own breathing quickening as you hold on for dear life. 1. Your eyes tighten, your muscles braced. Release. The sudden drop makes your stomach feel like it's trying to push its way out of your mouth, and as your descent becomes more and more rapid, your ears pop painfully as a sudden and violent barotrauma. Barotrauma? Okay. God, I just feel like my fucking face is not lined up with where I want to look and read. I'm just so fucking tilted. This opening kind of reminds me of The Matrix. You guys remember The Matrix whenever he like falls out of his little pod? It's kind of the same situation. The sudden drop makes your stomach feel like it's trying to push its way out of your mouth, and as your descent becomes more and more rapid, your ears pop painfully as a sudden and violent barotrauma occurs. You hear the air rushing past your cramped container, the entire structure seeming to pulse and vibrate as you plunge into the depths of the earth at hundreds of feet per second. It feels as if any moment now your steel capsule will smash into the earth below, crushing and killing you in a fraction of a nanosecond. The featureless face of your mother appears to you again, but there are no tears, only terror and confusion. Suddenly, you hear a banshee scream of steel grinding against steel, and the feeling of nausea subsides as the capsule's speed reduces. As the huge metal brakes begin. Fuck. Hey, Lynn, thank you for the gifter, too. Monica Umana. Thank you. You were just thinking about The Matrix? You've manifested this story. Flashbacks of the Challenger, yeah. As the huge metal brakes bring you to a steady stop, the great scream continues for a few moments, then suddenly falls silent. With your capsule hanging stationary in some unknowable abyss, you continue to tremble with residual terror. The calmer companion remains still. The other appears to have passed out entirely. His head and arms hang loose with only the restraints to keep him in place, but as another groan of machinery sends the capsule reeling, he appears to wake up again. After a brief period of steady movement, the capsule splits into 3, and as your seat rotates away from your masked companions, you are once again thrust into an inky black void. Before your restraints unlock, rising above your head like the arms of some overprotective parent, a bright white light flickers on, one that appears to be emanating from the very mask which is attached to your head. It illuminates in the space in front of you, and as you climb from your seat, you see equipment and workspaces that are clearly of scientific nature. You turn, your masked flashlight bathing the capsule in a harsh, sterile glow. It appears to be attached. It's attached. Kilikina09, welcome to the Buttersock Cult. And Bix, thank you for the gifter to Aeon Surat. Also, Bix, not sure if you meant to, become a member yourself, but thank you for the gifter, and thank you, Kilikina. 09. I don't know if there would be like an accident there in the becoming a member and accidentally click on the gifter part. But yeah, anybody who gets a gift tonight, there is a playlist for bonus content. Be sure to check that out. What's up, Zed Music? What's going on? Can I listen? I'm actually going to listen to your music real quick, just because I don't know why. I get fascinated by people's... Oh, there's nothing there. Okay, never mind. But you have subscribers. Where'd you get subscribers? 2.3K, unless you like deleted some, but no worries. I was just curious. I like to listen to people's content. Ready for some bonehead content? Let's go. I got you, baby. It appears to be attached to some kind of vertical rail system, one which allows it to traverse a tunnel of unfathomable depth. Fuck. God, some words are just hard to fucking say. What's up, darlin'? It appears to be attached to some kind of vertical rail system, one which allows it to traverse a tunnel of unfathomable depth. You try to peer upwards, beyond the capsule, but either the mouth of the tunnel is covered, or you are so deep that sunlight fails to reach you. You then look down, gazing at the seemingly unending abyss. The only sound you can hear is that of your own breathing, startled but steady, yet the uneasy peace is suddenly broken by a hiss of static and a flurry of voices. What the fuck is going on? Where the fuck are we? The panicked man's voice buzzes directly into your ears. Who the fuck are you people? Why can't I remember anything? He claws at his mask as the calmer man watches, motionless, unsympathetic, until suddenly his erratic movements slow, then cease altogether. Soon, too, he is awash in anxiolytics? Is that a thing? Anti-anxiety medications? Treatment for anxiety, okay. Anxiolytics, okay, sweet. It kind of came out of nowhere. What's tonight's theme? It is just bonus content for the members with the green names. You can become one if you'd like. If not, you can chill and listen, no worries. But yeah, tonight is just sort of like a fictional story about some crazy shit that I don't even know what it's about. Sounds like it's the Matrix, sort of. Anything cool happen on the internet lately? Anything cool in the world happen we can give a hot take on? Is that real? This story is not real. This is just fiction, creepypasta, if you will. He claws at his mask as the calmer man watches, motionless, unsympathetic, until suddenly his erratic movements slow, then cease altogether. Soon, he too is awash in anxiolytics. Damn it. Yeah, that is it. Omegle died. Rest in peace. Boner videos. People just jerking off all day. Soon, he too is awash in anxiolytics, his terror dulled through chemical comfort. You turn to the calm man, then ask him if he knows where you are. He shakes his head, but before he has a chance to speak, that same mechanical voice you heard prior to your descent suddenly buzzes in your ears. Access the equipment compartment at the base of the controlled descent vehicle. You turn your head, your headlamp illuminating a previously unnoticed storage unit at the base of the capsule. The calmer of the two men approaches it, then opens the first of the three compartments. Contained behind the sliding steel doors, the first familiar thing you've seen since your awakening. It's an Enoshima ZX-22 Extracto... that's super familiar, right? New live-action Zelda movie coming out. Oh my god. Dude, you know, I mean, I guess we could watch the trailer, huh? Is there a trailer, or is it just an announcement? I just have like 100% failing that's good. That's gonna be an absolute bust. Do I watch wrestling? I do not. No. I was a fan of Eric Bugenhagen. I guess he was in like the rung. Are there different rungs of like WWE and that kind of thing? But then he got released, and then that was kind of sad. Hockey player in England died from a slash to the neck. Oh yeah, I did see that. That was like, wasn't that like 2 weeks ago at this point? I was curious what ever became of the, if it was like accidental manslaughter or like how they're gonna go about that. Last show or movie I watched. I've been watching, like, I've been making my way through Ghost Stories, you know, the anime where they like did funny dub overs with it. And I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, holy shit, dude. If ever there was a way to make an anime, it is that show. Just because with Ghost Stories, it has all these like funny jokes in it and stuff. But the plots are like pretty simplistic. It's just like, you know, ghost of the, or, you know, monster of the week type stuff. And I'm like, fuck, dude, this is how like every show should be, where it's like not like, you know, obviously not going to be that exciting, but just the writing of the jokes is like specific to the culture that it takes place in. And I kind of feel like there should be this new push culturally that, like, I don't know, you would have to think of a word for it, like funny dubs or something like that. You watch YouTubers react to it. Nice. Yeah, it's a hilarious show. It's on the Amazon. What's my fave anime? I don't know. I guess years and years when I was a kid, I watched Dragon Ball Z. I love Akira. I mean, one of my favorite movies, definitely Ghost in the Shell. It has like the most, and just movies in general, definitely Ghost in the Shell. Because it has the best like soundtrack, it has the best story, it has the most like exposition and philosophy, it has like the best animation and action. It's just one of my favorites ever. Did you ever take any sports or martial arts? Yeah, I played football, rugby, did CrossFit for years and years, weightlifting, powerlifting, that kind of thing. And then for a decent amount of time I did Brazilian jiu-jitsu. But that didn't last very long because I was like working out in conjunction with it, and I just was like dead. Let's go football, yeah. Sports ball. That's called an abridged series. Well, no, it wouldn't. I don't think you understood what I meant. What I meant is like, you take a series from another country, presumably it's going to be, I guess, Japan, and then you just allow what they did in the Ghost Stories anime to just dub over it with whatever you want and just make it funny. And then as long as you keep the major plot points stuck, I feel like it's cool. How do you deal with imposter syndrome? How would you define imposter syndrome? Like when you play Among Us? Did you ever watch Samurai Champloo? I did watch Samurai Champloo actually back in college. I watched like most of my animes back when I was like 21, which is funny. I just would watch so many of them over, you know, not over and over, but just like try to dig through as many as possible. I was obsessed with trying to like find the most like violent and fucked up ones I could. Like what's that one? Like Ninja something. I forget what it was, but that one was pretty. But at the end of the day, I feel like they all kind of like max out at a certain point. There's really nothing too crazy about them. But yeah, getting back to the Ghost Stories one, where, yeah, you just like make it funny, but as long as you keep it, yeah, Ninja Scroll, that one was pretty wild. But it was, you know, I don't know. Yeah, Afro Samurai was great. But yeah, Samurai Champloo, sorry, I'm all over the place, but Samurai Champloo, it was good. And I really liked the beginning of that show, the first like solid 3 episodes of it, because when they would do combat, like samurai combat, it wasn't like, you know, it was a gush of blood. Like every anime's always got to have like a gush of blood coming out and stuff. It was just like a lot more realistic with like minimal amounts of blood, if that makes any sense. And it just felt a little bit more kind of down to earth. But yeah, then I kind of feel like even though that was the weird thing about that anime is even though it was specifically only a certain amount of episodes, I felt like there was a decent amount of like filler episodes the towards the end of it. And then they kind of found what their purpose was, or like how they're going to get to the end, and I didn't really like how it all ended. It was kind of just silly. Ever watch Yakitate Japan? I have not, no. Samurai Shampoo. Are you going to go see the Godzilla 1 movie? Probably not. No, I'm kind of fucking over those movies, to be honest. Like, not neat. I mean, I'm sure they're fun. A bunch of like big monster bullshits, but I'm actually surprised. It just feels as if, though, like something stuck in the theater for once, and like Hollywood producers are like, let's go, dude, we finally made some money. Have you seen any Junji Ito, the horror? On Netflix, yeah, I watched probably like 3 episodes of that. They didn't really strike a chord with me as much as I was hoping. But, you know, some of them had some unique ideas. It was definitely very, very Japanese. Like, just, I don't know, for whatever reason, everybody's like heads inflating into balloons for whatever reason. Or like looking for like a big balloon to like stick their head in like a noose. I don't know. It was interesting, I guess. But I did watch the first episode of Invincible Season 2. And I know that they were releasing those, I think, weekly, so I have to catch up and see if there's any new ones. My 26th birthday is tomorrow, and I'm going to see a horror movie, The Thanksgiving. Nice, yeah, that's with Tim Dillon's in that. I really want to see that, honestly, just to support Tim Dillon. He's so funny. Bro, it terrified me, but probably because it reminded me of stuff, I guess. Well, that's true, too, yeah. If you feel some sort of connection to it, I can imagine it would be very scary. I think I just wasn't in the right headspace when I watched it, and I couldn't. And sometimes watching stuff by myself, like lately, I feel like my brain is just so, like, dopamine rattled because of fucking shorts and Instagram reels and stuff that I just, like, the second that I run out of food while eating or watching something, I really need to be interested in it, otherwise I lose interest. You remember seeing Tim Dillon live? It was amazing. Yeah, I saw him live in Hershey, Pennsylvania. That's where he performed. He was there with Shane Gillis and Nick Mullins and some other guy, and they were so fucking funny. Is Invincible the anime version of The Boys? You know, it's not the same storyline per se, but it's the same producer. With what's his name, Seth Rogen? Yeah, Seth Rogen. It seems that, but I will say the stories, it's like they're superhero stories, but they're very different, you know? Whereas the other one's about like a team of the Avengers that is also ran by a bunch of like pharmaceutical / like military intelligence operations. You know, Invincible is about something way different than that. There is lots of gore in both of them, yeah, for sure. And I would definitely say The Boys is definitely more mature in its storyline than Invincible, but Invincible has its moments as well. It just, I don't know. I think that's kind of the interesting thing about it, is that it feels as if though it's like back and forth between, you know, like the Superman animated series for kids back in the day with Batman animated series in there, but just taken up another notch, you know. Alright, sorry. It's an Enoshima ZX-22 extractor laser, the kind used by deep-sea mineral miners. Although it's only the size of a large nail gun, the ZX-22 is capable of concentrating a series of high-powered lasers onto an area no bigger than a pinhead. The combined energy of the lasers then raises the surface temperature of whatever they touch to just above. Is this the thought in my own head, or is this... I don't know why. It's just funny. I guess it is if we know what it is. The combined energy of the lasers then raises the surface temperature of whatever they touch to just over 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. With its sodium-ion batteries supporting over 30 minutes of solid use, it can be used for boring, cutting, mineral extraction. Alright. I feel like there was a weird jump out of like the first person this is happening to you to suddenly you're nerding out in your own head. With its sodium-ion batteries supporting over 30 minutes of solid use, it can be used for boring, cutting, mineral extraction. But in the wrong hands, such a powerful piece of mining equipment can prove itself a devastatingly deadly weapon. You approach the storage compartment, picking up the laser by its sling. Do you know how to use that thing? Wait, we're on to the different person now. Do you know how to use that thing? The calmer of the two men asks. Along with his mask, he wears black combat boots and a plain black utility suit. Yes, you reply in an uneasy voice. I don't know how, but I do. As the formerly panicked man treads over to the cache, your calmer comrade slides open the second of 3 compartments. You don't recognize the model, but what the calm man pulls from the compartment is clearly some kind of pump-action shotgun, sleek in aesthetic, utilitarian in function. None of you have the slightest idea why you might require a means of defending yourselves, but it's nevertheless a comfort to witness the calmer man's proficiency with it. He deftly cocks and loads the thing, stuffing a tube-like cavity with half a dozen of cherry red shells provided. Wait, what? Stuffing a tube-like... stuffing the... Okay, I see. We're in Dead Space, yeah. It just went from Matrix to video game. He deftly cocks and loads the thing, stuffing a tube-like cavity with half a dozen of the cherry red shells provided. The scared man experiences a moment of recognition when the gunner slides open the third and final storage compartment. Thank God, he says, a palpable relief in his voice as he lunges towards a small digital device. What is it? The gunner asks, gesturing towards what appears to be some variety of handheld computer, complete with miniature keyboard and digital display. The other man tinkers with the device's exterior before a soft, ambient light. Okay. The other man tinkers with the device's exterior before a soft, ambient light begins to emanate from its screen. This little baby is our ticket to getting out of this place. You can practically hear his grin behind the mask as he continues. It's like a digital master key. Highly illegal. I can use it to engineer a backdoor in just about any computer system you can imagine. A short exchange of information begins as the 3 of you quickly realize that none of you are in possession of either your short or long-term memories. But before the discussion can continue any further, the mechanical voice once again buzzes in your ears. Restore power to the facility, it says. You both heard that, right? Asked the gunner. You and the engineer nod before he continues. Look, no one's getting out of here without power. We should see where this takes us. Again, you and the engineer nod, and with the gunner at the lead, the 3 of you take your first tentative steps into the darkness. Painting your surroundings with the beam of your headlamp, you spot charts and research papers, microscopes and tablet computers. Many items of stationery bear the acronym CEC and a logo that consists of red, green, and blue stripes. The logo seems oddly familiar, but there is no time to dredge through your consciousness. You must keep moving. Various markings on a maintenance stairwell wall. David De La Rosa with the 2 says, what's your favorite Soundgarden song? Let's see. I want to say Let your light shine down. Whoa. Heaven, let your light shine down. Is that a Soundgarden song? Oh, Black Hole Sun too is really good. Or Heaven. Is that somebody else? Fuck. Maybe that's somebody. Or is that Stone Temple? Who sings that song? Heaven, let your light shine. Oh, Collective Soul. I'm a dummy. Well, I guess if it's Soundgarden, then yeah, Black Hole Sun. Oh, Fell in Black Days. Yeah, that one's really good too. Spoon Man. You can't go wrong with Spoon Man. Yeah, those are some solid ones. And David Rex with a 2 and your first ever super on live. Thank you guys. Spoon Man was Allison Changed the Thought. It says it here. Let's see, 13 years ago, before they uploaded to YouTube. Yeah, it's a Soundgarden song. Spoon Man, speak the rhythm. Did you ever watch JoJo's Buzzard Adventure? I tried to watch JoJo's, but like, I just didn't get it. It didn't like strike me the way that other people's it strikes others. In my workout playlist, just know that every time I squat heavy on my heaviest set, I listen to Omerta by Lamb of God. Something about that intro is just very, it's exactly how I would want the world to operate. It's like, if I survive, let's listen to it. I'm gonna read the lyrics. I just like it. Whoever appeals to the law against his fellow man is either a fool or a coward. Whoever cannot take care of himself without the law is both. For a wounded man shall say to his assailant, "If I live, I will kill you. If I die, you are forgiven. Such is the rule of honor." It's kind of corny, but at the same time, I just fucking love it because it's true, man. If I live, I'll kill you. If I die, you are forgiven. Audrey with a 2 says, "Kisses wetly, prank." Gone sexual. Thank you for the 2, and David, thank you again for the 2. Listen to Gangnam Style, yeah. Oh, and Barbie Girl. Beer Garden song? I don't know if I've heard any of those. What's my squat PR? I just hit 500. I was really excited about that. That was 2 weeks ago. I hit 500. And then that same week I hit 505 on deadlift because I had already hit 500 on deadlift. I was like, fuck it, let's take it up a notch. And yeah, been pretty stoked about that. Various markings on a maintenance stairwell. Fuck, this one's hard to say for some reason. Various markings on the maintenance stairwell wall give you clues to the facility's purpose. You see words like research, development, canteen, accommodation, recreation, before finally reaching a level labeled reactor. The large heavy door to the reactor room is sealed off with bulky locks made of a strong metal alloy. Fortunately, there is no match for your mining. There is no match. 500 is a lot of weight. It is a lot of weight. That's what was so abstract to me, because it's like, I don't know, like hitting that was kind of like hitting 1 million subscribers. Like I would say I actually felt cooler hitting 500, well, maybe not quite the same, but definitely comparable, hitting 500 on squat compared to hitting 1 million subscribers on YouTube. Like for some reason telling people you squat 475 or you have 900,000 subscribers on YouTube, like, they'll be like, wow, cool. But for some reason, when you tell them you have 1 million subscribers or you squat 500, that's where for some reason the number just suddenly strikes them in a way that's like, wait, what? You know, kind of thing. And it's pretty cool. Lead singer of Lamb of God says his scream inspiration came from doing Cookie Monster impressions, which he then apparently morphed into a screaming and harsh vocals. Cookie! Cookie Monster! Cookie! Oh, Cookie! Ooh, ah! I don't know if I can do a scream. Whoa! Wah! Wah! I don't know. How do you even do a scream? What? What? You have to turn into a monkey. Dude, that, I feel like if I was in a scream band, there's like no way you can maintain your voice that way. Yeah, Pradeep's just like, what the fuck? Fortunately, they are no match for your mining laser. The stairwell is bathed in a vibrant, violent incandescence as the concentrated beams of light converge. The small area of metal on which they meet begins to smoke, bubble, then eventually glow. And after slowly working the laser through the hefty chunk of metal alloy, it falls heavy onto the concrete, its echoes singing around the stairwell. It takes two of you to pry open the heavy steel door to the reactor room, and once you're inside, the mechanical voice buzzes in your ears again. Locate and activate the auxiliary power generator. This takes a matter of minutes, with the gunner yanking at a gyroscopic handle for a few seconds before smashing his palm into a large green button. A small digital display flickers on as the generator hums into life, then the mechanical voice speaks again. Commence fuel loading routines. Both you and the gunner look to the engineer, and his face has a dark... Sounds like a Fallout game. It does kind of sound like Fallout. Sounds like a four-person cooperative experience in a Steam game. You have to push it out of using your stomach and diaphragm. I'm a monkey. Oh. Okay. I don't know. Was that it? Did we get it? Coffee with spicy lentil soup? What the fuck? That sounds like acid reflux written all over it. Throat singing. Was that Motorhead? Hell yeah, dude. Both you and the gunner look to the engineer. His face is a dark void. Only the rising and falling of his chest betrays his increasing anxiety. He looks down at the pocket computer, holding it in both hands as if to reassure himself, then gets to work. The engineer patrols the room until he finds the reactor's primary control console. Then, after sliding back a small slot on the base of the pocket computer, he pulls a long, thin wire from it before attaching it to the console. Tapping away at the pocket computer's miniature keyboard, the engineer brings the console to life, then accesses its basic input and output systems. Okay, I'm in, he says. Just give me a minute to orient myself. I want to look before I leap. Make it quick, the gunner growls. And as the shot... That didn't sound very growly. Make it quick, the gunner growls. And as the shotgun tightens in his grip, you wonder if his purpose is to defend or enforce. With finger strokes as diligent as they are dexterous, The engineer continues his work for a few moments, punctuating his progress with a shallow sigh of relief. Okay, I got it. Loading U-235 fuel cache now. He hits a button, and the entire facility seems to groan as some great unseen piece of machinery begins to move. Moments later, the mechanical voice once again drones in your ears. Commence control and coolant routines. The engineer gets to work, laying the pocket computer against a free section of the console before leaning over and studying it. He is completely absorbed, his digits dancing across the keyboard until you hear a second sigh of relief. Okay, I think we're good to go. Powering up the reactor... Wait, what? How do you even say this shit? It says powering up the reactor... He breaks off for a moment, continuing to feverishly type as he suddenly yells it. Oh. He was like building up to it. What's the story about? It's just like a fictional story about like the future or some shit. I don't fucking know how to describe it where we don't even know yet. Use your abdomen more than your vocal cords. There it was. That kind of sounded very... That's actually doable, I feel like, for a long period of time. It's like a burp. You gotta, like, burp that shit out. Yeah, just burp into the mic, dude. You'll be good. Death rattle, yeah. Okay, I think we're good. Powering up the reactor. Fuck, I pressed stop. Why did I press stop? Fuck, dude. I can't even. Okay, I think we're good to go. Powering up the reactor. He breaks off for a moment, continuing to feverishly type until he suddenly yells out, "Now!" You feel an intense but momentary vibration beneath your feet as the entire facility seems to awaken from its dormant state. Lights flicker on, computer screens spark into life, and just for a moment you entertain the idea of hope. But you are wrong to do so. Moments later, the lights of the reactor's room ceiling abruptly shuts off, their sterile glow replaced by the ominous pulsing of blood-red emergency indicators and the wailing of an emergency alarm system. Over the alarm and outside of your mask, you hear another voice, one that seems to emanate from the very ceiling above you. It's a woman's voice, soft and calming, but what she says sends terror coursing through your veins. Warning. Suboptimal temperatures detected. Commence moderation procedures immediately. Warning. Suboptimal temperatures detected. Commence moderation procedures immediately. The engineer begins feverishly typing on the pocket computer. Fuck. There's something wrong with the moderation procedure, he says anxiously. Then shut it down. I can't. If I shut it down now, the whole thing will fucking blow. Do something. I'm fucking trying! There's nothing you can do but wait and watch. Your vision aglow with pulsing crimson, the incessant wail of the alarm system clawing at your eardrums. Your knees begin to feel weak. You lean against a dead console. This is it. Oh, fuck, that's not dialogue, that's just thoughts. This is it, you think. This is the end. But for the time being, death is a luxury you are not afforded. Suddenly, the alarm ceases and pulses. The other way you can try it is just sing using what they call false chords, like when you're grumbling at someone, using the ones that are real deep in your throat, and you're like... Bing bong. Bing bong. It feels good when you do it. You almost get like lightheaded a little bit. What's the acid reflux medicine you're taking? I just, like, before, honestly, I don't do it as much lately. But because avoiding processed foods really helps, I think. But the one thing that I take before is I'll do like 1 or 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar and like 8 ounces of water before eating. And that helps like to increase breakdown. But the other thing that's on Amazon that you can take in the middle of your meal, what's it called? Betaine hydrochloride with pepsin on Amazon. Some of them have digestive enzymes as well. But yeah, I can put it in the chat. You can look into it a little bit more on YouTube if you want. And be sure to consult a doctor before. But yeah, basically, you take like one of those in the middle of your meal, and just make sure you have like protein in your meal as well. It helps digestion, but it just increases the acidic environment of your stomach acid to help like break food down into more easily absorbed nutrients. You know what I mean? And then if you don't get acid reflux or indigestion symptoms from it, you can continue to increase like capsules. I think they said up to like, well, it'll tell you on the thing, but I've heard people say it's like up to 4 to 8 capsules. But then once your digestion kind of gets back to normal without acid reflux symptoms, you can kind of bring it back down to like 4. But the idea is mainly to take it like before you, or not before, but during your meal, like in the middle of it, just because it's like sort of entirely covered and can be easily like broken down and digested. I don't know why that grumble noise he is making is super pissing me off. I'm not even mad at it. That's the weird part. Maybe it just makes you, maybe it's like eliciting a sort of animal response or something. How was my Thanksgiving? It was good. It was good. Got to hang out with a lot of people, family, and then with friends later on. It was nice. Suddenly, the alarm ceases, and the pulsing red warning lights dim, then die. I did it, the engineer says. I fucking did it, you guys. The gunner sighs, his shoulders dropping with relief. You try not to vomit in your mask. Okay, there's good news, and there's bad news, the engineer continues. The good news is I just stopped a nuclear meltdown, and we still have the reactor running at a limited capacity. And the bad news? The gunner asks. We only have enough power to supply 1 or 2 subsections of utilities. I can send everything to something labeled surface elevator, which seems like a no-brainer, but then The engineer is cut off by the return of a mechanical voice. It seems louder than before, more direct. Divert reactor output to Area 74B. There's a brief but pregnant pause, then the engineer speaks again. It's listening to us, isn't it? I'd be surprised if it wasn't, the gunner says. But there's nothing we can do about that now. This area isn't telling us to power. This area that it's telling us to power. Does that place have the surface elevator? There's no way for me to find out using this console, the engineer replies. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but I guess we can always come back. Divert power to a different section once we get a better idea of the layout. Then do it. The engineer diverts power, then after detecting his pocket computer... Penis. Fuck. The engineer diverts power, then after detaching his pocket computer from the primary reactor console, you begin the search for Area 74B. It quickly becomes evident that the facility is the size of a small city. Corridors and hallways seem to stretch for miles, and at one point, you climb so many stairs in one of the pitch-black maintenance stairwells that your legs ache from the exertion. You discover that Area 74 encompasses several different floors and facilities, each a massive complex all unto itself, and upon reaching the large iron door marked 74-A/74-B, you prepare to utilize your mining laser. However, when you step forward, you see the lock has already been cut. Your group freezes, wordlessly considering the implications, then, after prying open the door as slowly and quietly as possible, the gunner takes the lead. The three of you stalk the hallways, remaining deathly quiet as you close in on Area 74B, and suddenly, after peeking into an open doorway, the gunner suddenly recoils before halting your progress with a single raised fist. With careful, calculated movements, the gunner leans back around the threshold, quietly analyzing the room's contents. You and the engineer remain quiet for a few moments, but the tension proves too much for one of you. What is it? What is it? The engineer asks. Bodies, the gunner replies. 3 of them. They look like us. After rounding the corner, you understand what he means. Although the remains are mostly skeletal, they appear to be wearing almost the exact same clothing and equipment as you and your own companions. But even more concerning than their presence is the manner in which they appear to have been dispatched. Their bodies are in pieces, skulls partially crushed, and great sections of their utility suits appear to have been torn open around their torsos. But perhaps most concerning is that all 3 of the deceased appear to have removed their masks prior to death. I'm guessing they didn't do this to each other, the gunner murmurs. The implication is clear. Whatever happened to these 3 poor souls could well happen to you too. They look old, remarks the engineer. He is correct. Apart from what appears to be a few streaks of dried gore, the remains are little more than dried out husks. And that means whoever killed them, the engineer continues, they're probably dead too, right? Not if it was some kind of automated defense system. The gunner. Oh wait, fuck. I'm getting these. I don't even know whose voice is fucking who. I don't know why. I just didn't figure out a voice for each of these idiots. Engineer. Which one's the engineer again? Oh yeah. And that means whoever killed them, the engineer continues, they're probably dead too, right? Not if it was some kind of automated system, the gunner says. And if you just feed power to these Motherfucker. And if you just fed power to this place, I'm worried you might have woken it up too. The gunner drifts over to one of the bodies, kneels, then wrenches a second shotgun from one of the dead men's hands. He inspects the weapon, finds it unloaded, then slings it over his shoulder before rising to his feet again. Hey, the engineer says. Oh, that didn't sound like a whisper, motherfucker. Hey, the engineer says, his voice barely above a whisper. Aren't you going to give us one of those? Do you know how to use it? The gunner asks in reply. The engineer pauses. How can I know unless I hold it? He asks. Besides, he might. And he gestures to you. You look at the shotgun. It's intimidating, unfamiliar, dark in color and dark in nature. I don't know you, and I don't trust you, the gunner states. If you ever find yourself really needing one of these, you can pick it up off my corpse. And the discussion ends there. You continue through the complex, and when you reach the door to the Area 74-B, you discover that it too has had its locked... Can't seem to find my rhythm. Story reminds you of Pandarim movie? What's that one about? Damn, I was so lost in my GTA Flash FM radio, I didn't even realize the live came. Dude, Rico, that's like one of my fucking favorite GTA stations. I might have played it on the stream one time, but if ever I listen to GTA stations, I've listened to that one like 10 times. It's so good. You continue through the complex, and when you reach the door to Area 74-B, you discover that it too has had its lock destroyed by those that came before. You pull the door open, hoping to see light on the other side, but as the heavy steel groans and the door squeals on its hinges, you're greeted by the same impenetrable abyss on the other side. "I thought you powered this place up," the engineer asks. "I did. At least, I sent as much power as I could to the consoles and fabricators." The engineer explains. "No point in having lights and air No point in having lights and air conditioning if we can't use the machines. I mean, why else send us here?" And as if on cue, the mechanical voice buzzes in your ears. "Collect a fist-sized sample of specimen number 21, it says. Once again, there is a pause as the information is processed. Did I just hear the word specimen? I don't remember which one's fucking which. Did I just hear the word specimen? The engineer hisses. He's immediately hushed by the gunner. "Yes, you did," he spits. "Now keep quiet before you get us all killed." Upon locating the area of the complex which houses its so-called specimens, your sense of dread only deepens. The word invokes images of grotesquely deformed monstrosities floating in tanks of hydrostatic fluid, but in this case, it seems the specimen is of a purely geological nature. Standing in a tall plexiglass, the spicy man. Collect the spicy man. Oh, no worries, Rico. I'm glad you can make it back. Who up listening to Let's Read while stroking they shit while collecting they specimen. Standing in a tall plexiglass case like some great gray monolith. Fuck me, man. I don't. What the fuck am I doing? Standing in a tall plexiglass case like some great gray monolith is specimen number 21. To remain as quiet as possible, you use the mining laser to cut a large hole in the plexiglass case. The gunner reaches in to test the rock's durability. A chunk crumbles into his hand as he pulls it away. "Well," says the engineer, "that was easy." The gunner tosses him the chunk, then returns both hands to the firearm. You brace to hear the mechanical voice in your ear, and you don't have to wait long. "Locate and analyze audio log number SM0112. "Audio log?" whispers the engineer. "These things got us grabbing rocks and listening to people's diaries? So what the fuck is going on here?" "Enough questions," says the gunner. "The audio log. Can you use that thing to find it?" He nods towards the pocket computer. "I guess. Unless it's a really private audio log, it'll probably be stored in some kind of shared network," the engineer replies. "All we gotta do is find a local console." Finding a connection takes minutes, and the engineer goes to work, delving into the facility's digital infrastructure with mere strokes of his thumbs. "Okay, I think I got it," he says. "Audio log number SM0112, recorded by Oh, he's reading it. Reminds you of my tip sticky. Which one's that? Yeah, the AI is a creep. Go find my cream samples quickly. It's just Pee Wee Herman up in in front of a microphone in his office. Today is my birthday, and I couldn't imagine a better way to end it than listen to your love. Oh, thanks, Kate. Good to see you. Happy B-Day. Okay, I think I got it, he says. Audio log number SM0112, recorded by Dr. Daniel Ugwu on August 14th of 2026. The engineer seems to stumble over the date. You two are incapable of remembering what year it is. Just play it, the gunner says. The engineer complies. The console's small, integrated speakers. The console's small, integrated speakers crackle to life. The console's small, integrated speakers crackle to life. Dr. Yin, this is Dr. Ugwu, over at Sample Testing. I would never normally subvert organizational hierarchies, but I have deep concerns regarding the accuracy of scientific characterization within our research. In summary, I should make him sound like the guy from Half-Life, remember, Gordon Freeman. Gordon Freeman. Hello, Gordon. Gordon Freeman. Gordon Freeman. Gordon Freeman. Wait, what's the doctor's? The science team. Half-Life. Half-Life scientist voice lines, maybe? If I were a braver man. Wouldn't be surprised if there's one good brain among them. Gordon Freeman. Fascinating. Alright, well, we can try it at least. Morgan Reed, man. Morgan Reed, man. Dr. Yin, this is Dr. Ugwu over at Sample Testing. I would never normally subvert organizational hierarchies, but I have deep concerns regarding the accuracy of scientific characterization within our research. In summary, I wish to bring to your attention a discrepancy in the characterization of Sample 21 by Dr. Toshi. Firstly, despite Dr. Toshi's assertion of hazardous radiations emissions from Specimen 21, our meticulous analysis reveals an emission rate of no more than 3.5 SS. Dude, I don't know what MSV is, my boy. What the fuck is that? Micro penises units? Millisievert? What the fuck is that? Which is a unit of measurement for the dosing of ionizing radiation received by a living organism. Interesting. Never heard of it before. I guess if you live on if you play Stalker, maybe it shows up in Stalker. Alright, how do you say it? Millisievert. Millisieverts. Would it have the S in it? Or, okay, yeah, I guess I'll do it with the S. Firstly, despite Dr. Toshi's assertion of hazardous radiation emissions from Specimen 21, our meticulous analysis revealed an emission rate of no more than 3.5 millisieverts. It's imperative to note that this... Dude, I can't actually remember what... I hate myself. I can't remember what the fuck... Miley Cyrus. I have to listen back on it. This is so fucking annoying. Where's just like play? Is there a play button?
Dr. Yin, this is Dr. Ukwu over at Sample Testing. I would never normally subvert organizational hierarchies, but...
Alright, I think we kind of get the idea on that one. Oh, I can't record for some reason? What the fuck? Oh, I gotta go back.
Firstly, despite Dr. Toshi's assertions of hazardous radiation emissions from specimen 21, our meticulous analysis reveals an emission rate of no more than 3.5 sieverts. It's imperative to note that this level falls within the background radiation range and poses no discernible harm. While the sample has presented perplexing data, it indeed emits a measurable substance. However, it may not conform to our conventional understanding of radiation. Secondly, while I hold great respect for Dr. Toshi's contributions, I have reservations regarding his classifications of sample 21 as a geological entity. Upon closer examination, although the atomic structure exhibits similarities to sedimentary rock, I propose an alternative hypothesis, that the substance in question may not be a geological formation at all, but rather of microbial origin.
The engineer looks down at the fist-sized sample of chalky rock in his hand, then lets it drop onto the console's surface. Now they fucking I don't know who said the engineer. The engineer is deep voice. I don't know.
Peculiar.
Joelception, yeah. Sounds like Peter Griffin. That's funny. Now they fucking tell us, he says in a cracked whisper. The voice from the console continues.
At this juncture, it remains a theoretical proposition. However, based on my observations, it appears that a subset of cells has undergone biostatic preservation during the division process. If this preservation has rendered these cells inert, the associated risks are mitigated. Nonetheless, if these cells are in a state of dormancy rather than inactivity, there exists the potential to inadvertently trigger reactivation. The Nonetheless, if these cells are in a state of dormancy rather than inactivity, there exists the potential to inadvertently trigger reactivation, the consequences of which remain unclear and potentially perilous. It's essential to underscore my unwavering confidence in the dedication and competence of our research team, as well as the overarching project. However, I am compelled to express concerns that our zealous pursuit of results may inadvertently overlook significant and hazardous contingencies. While it is plausible that Dr. Toshi's perspective may be well-founded, it is also possible that my concerns stem from the strain of our demanding workload. In the event of an unforeseen incident, I implore you to ensure the safe transport of our specimen to our surface-level colleagues. Crucially, any specimen may be rendered inert and subject to rigorous containment protocols to avert any unintended consequences.
The audio log ends as abruptly as it started, and a heavy, ominous silence returns for a few moments. What the fuck were they doing here? The engineer asks. You all stare at what is no longer just a hunk of chalky gray rock. It has taken on the air of something else, a sleeping chimera, a creeping death. Something we gotta fix, the gunner murmurs in reply. The engineer thumbs the pocket computer again before talking. The engineer? I don't even know. You sound like Ben Shapiro. That's so funny. It could have been him. He's the scientist. That wasn't the only audio. That wasn't the only audio log on file, he says. There was a reply in this thread recorded about 3 weeks after the first log. It seems Dr. Yin sent a response. The engineer taps the pocket computer a few times, then the console's small speakers fizzle into life again. Daniel, this is Steven. There is an easily detectable fear in Yin's voice. I think you were right about Specimen 21. It went down for testing a few weeks ago, and they just quarantined the testing team. There's no comms in or out, and both floors above and below are teeming with security personnel. There are rumors that the directors are going to lock down the entire facility by the day's end. No one will say why, but I know that it has something to do with the Specimen 21's testing phase. Do you really think they'd lock 1,000 people down here without telling us why or for how long? I understand we have safety procedures for a reason, but if it's true, I'd like to get a message out to my family, at least so they know not to worry so much. Good luck, my friend. I'll try and keep you posted. The audio cuts out. That's the last audio log I can find. September 7th, 2026. The engineer says. At least that's the one that's not either corrupted or redacted. They must have evacuated the facility not long after that, or they really did lock the whole place down. But if all the people ended up trapped down here... But then if all those people ended up trapped down here... You begin the thought. Oh, that's your thought. Okay, sure. Motorboat my sister for me, would you? But then if all those people ended up trapped down here, you begin the thought, but the gunner finishes it. Where are they now? Any discussion is cut off by the sudden return of the mechanical voice. Transport the sample to the biocontainment facility. You heard it, the gunner says. Let's bring it what it wants. The three of you... I wish I had, I don't know. I wish I could, lay out the voices beforehand and know exactly who it's, based off of or what it should sound like. Because sometimes I, lose track in my head and I don't really have, a huge array of bullshit I can, pull from or even stick to consistently. The three of you creep along the corridors of Area 74B, successfully navigating to the area marked Biocontainment. Aside from the gentle beat of your footfalls, the hallways remain deathly quiet. The pitch darkness and almost impenetrable silence make the facility feel more like a tomb than a place of science. But before you can allow your mind to linger too long on the ever-lengthening list of questions, you find the entrance to the biocontainment facility. Just like the others, the lock on its doors has been cut through with a mining laser, and inside sit several pieces of large, industrial-looking machinery. As if on cue, the mechanical voice sounds off in your ear, instructing the three of you on how to manufacture a solid, sealed container of inert version of Specimen 21. First comes the inertia, turning the once dormant cells into a version that cannot wake up again. The engineer approaches one of the devices, studying it for a few moments before inserting the sample into a small receptacle. He then taps a few times on a small display. Is it dead space? Oh yeah, I guess it is dead space because the rock brings things back to life, or what? Well, I guess in this scenario the rock is alive. I have no clue. He then taps a few times on a small digital display, and then the machine groans into life. It is loud, uncomfortably loud, so loud that anything living and breathing for a long way off would be able to hear the hum of machinery. You think of the 3 bodies lying there, torn up, and so do your companions. For the next 10 minutes or so, the engineer works as quickly and diligently as possible, muttering anxiously to himself as he does so. You and the gunner keep your eyes on the doorway, the tension rising with each passing minute. At any moment, you expect to hear the steady rhythmic clunk of some automated security drone making its way toward you. Perhaps having been forewarned, you fare a little better than those that came before, but it will take either martial mastery or a stroke of good luck to take down a larger model without sustaining fatal... Perhaps having... fuck. Fucking shit. Perhaps having been forewarned, you'd fare a little better than those that came before. But it'll either take martial mastery or a stroke of good luck to take down a larger model without sustaining fatal... I keep saying fatal. What the fuck is wrong with me? Amelia with the 7 Canadians says, "Hey Joel, I just quit a toxic workplace. Any words of wisdom and encouragement would be much appreciated." Yeah, I'm glad you can take the steps to quitting, but, you're free for a bit. And now you can just need to kind of sit back and think about your next move, Are you going to be looking for a new job, or do you have like a personal business that you want to pursue? Do you want to do school, all that kind of stuff? And obviously, if you find a new workplace, finding one that's a little more geared towards your personality, I guess, might be more beneficial. Maybe even doing something from home. I know some people do work from home and kind of work on their own, but they they do something from the computer that might be involved, like moderating something or doing editing for people, whether it's for writing or for a web page or, video editing, just stuff like that. But yeah, exactly. New chapter, their loss, easy peasy, you're free. And sometimes having shittier work environments kind of make you stronger. I remember working in bars and getting a lot of shit from people. I don't know, just every hardship that you might have along the way is just kind of creating a foundational stone of the pathway of your life. It helps you go further and further without falling into the creek. I don't know. Focusing on school. Well, that's good. Yeah, I mean, if you can afford to step away from work for a while, then definitely worth doing it. How many more pages we got? 10 more. Fucking hell. You and the gunner keep your eyes on the doorway of the tension. Oh, yeah. You and the gunner keep your eyes on the doorway, the tension rising with each passing minute. At any moment, you expect to hear the steady rhythmic clunk of some automated security drone making its way towards you. Perhaps having been forewarned, you'd fare a little better than those that came before. But it'll take either martial mastery or a stroke of good luck to take down a larger model without sustaining fatal injuries in the process. The reality is, you'll probably end up like the others, completely overwhelmed by something stronger, faster, and more agile than a human could ever be.
You end up smashed, gutted on the cold steel floor panels, having died the moment it picked you up on its You'll end up smashed and gutted on the cold steel floor panels, having died the moment it picked you up on its infrared sensors. Each second feels like an eternity, and after the engineer transfers the now inert sample to a containment device, the steady hum of machinery pitches up into a growl. You feel a slight tremor underfoot, the noise so clamorous that it drowns out the engineer's anxious chittering. If anything is coming for you, it's coming for you now. When the machinery finally comes to a stop, and that same grim silence returns, it's almost a comfort. There are no sounds of security drones, either bipedal, quadrupedal, or airborne. The facility remains quiet as the grave. The engineer studies one of the machines for a moment, pulls open some kind of compartment, then produces what appears to be a small metal cylinder. Fuck. Every time I get to the dialogue, I fucking don't even remember which character's which. A winner is a dreamer that never gave up. This is true. This is something I realized a little bit before. It's actually a very strong reality in life that if you do not give up on something, you eventually will have put so much time into it that you will have had to have had some degree of mastery of the skill or craft or whatever it is you're pursuing, to the extent that you eventually will have some degree of success. And I always kind of like looked at the example of like DJ Khaled, you know what I mean? Like DJ Khaled, when he first came out, you started seeing him on the scene, like We the Best Music, all that kind of shit. He was kind of cringe as fuck, you know? And he still is pretty cringe-worthy, for sure. But he was also someone that just like existed and persisted for so long that eventually I feel like he just kind of, it became success, whether it was because he was like a meme or whether it was because he was quite talented. It doesn't really matter, honestly. But the fact that like he stuck around, you know, maybe he wasn't born the most talented person of all time, and maybe we aren't, you know, maybe we as people sometimes aren't born the most talented individual out there. But the fact that we have interest in something and a dream and a goal, and we stick to that goal, and we keep getting back up every time we feel like we're pushed down, eventually you're going to hit pay dirt, you know? A lot of gambling addicts, you know, they quit right before they're about to win it big. And that's how you got to look at life. It's got to keep digging. It's got to keep playing the slots. Fave philosopher, DJ Khaled. Exactly. I call it cappuccino. DJ Khaled invented cappuccino. How he became famous? Dude, no one really knows. But the fact that he stuck around, it's kind of like, you know, it's like Mariah Carey. Like, everyone would have forgotten about it, but because it's so prevalent within the society, you can't help but know that it exists. And then eventually it goes past the point of becoming annoying, and then it just becomes like it's just part of your culture at that point. And maybe you kind of like it a little bit. Maybe it's like a certain sense of familiarity. Don, welcome back for 9 months. It's 9 months. Woo, been here for years. Thank you so much, Joel, and your videos. I have very bad sleep problems and now sleep like a baby. Thank you. You're welcome, Don. See, that's always crazy to me when people say that they had really bad sleep and then they listen to me and it's just like good. Like, that's awesome. That's like actually fantastic that it just works out that way. What's everyone's view on Jesus Christ is the important question. It doesn't matter, you know. It's whatever you want to think in your head and feel, you know.
You're just going to talk yourself in circles if you talk about religion, which you are more than welcome to talk about whatever you want in chat. I don't really care. But you will talk yourself in circles. A warrior is someone that gets up even when they can't. I got $1 million voice, man. Thanks, Thad. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll make that happen. Not me trying to explain why I'm not cleaning up the guinea pig cage. Premarital hand-holding? Well, I hope you're prepared to go to hell. That's all I gotta say. At that point, I would, if someone tried to hold my hand before marriage, I'd probably get a pair of handcuffs and hook them to, their clothes hanger shelf. Okay, long story short, I would blow their house up. Anyways. This is it, he said. This is our ticket out of here. And as if in confirmation, the mechanical voice returns to your... what the fuck? And as if in confirmation, the mechanical voice returns to your ears. Return the secure sample to the controlled descent vehicle for immediate extraction. For the first time in what feels like hours, you feel a brief glimmer of hope. There was a time when you feared you'd be trapped down here, alone in the dark, airless tomb, until you died of hunger or thirst, or by the hand of whatever unthinking security drones had smashed the skulls of those that came before. But now, with a mechanical voice inviting you to return to the steel umbilical you woke up on, to return to the Earth's surface, to return home, a proverbial light can now be seen twinkling at the end of a long, dark tunnel. All your fears will soon be quelled, and all your questions will be answered. All you have to do is make it out. Moving as quietly as you'd arrived. How do you become like me? What do you want to be like me? What specifically about me do you want to be? I started watching House MD again. Is the work of doctors like the TV show, or is it just how the TV show writing was? I think it's just how the TV show writing is, for the most part. Doctors are... I don't know, man. I think that a lot of them are a lot more like lonely than give them credit for, because it seems like a miserable job a lot of the times. Like, you can consult with them and have a nice conversation with some of them, but their minds are always on to the next thing, so they hardly ever have time to have like interpersonal, connections with people. It's like you got to go to the next bullshit responsibility thing, and then also you just have to be there at the hospital or wherever you're at, constantly on call for schmowers and schmowers on end. Just pain. Being a doctor just is like pain. It's for like a type of human being that doesn't really need a lot of social contact. Pradeep is here. Oh, you want to be cool like me? What story are we on? This is bonus content, so it's just like one big story. Amelia, welcome to the Buttersock Cult. You now have access to bonus content. That's funny. I was thinking of House earlier, how like he does the American accent, and you really can't tell at all. I mean, I guess it makes sense, because if he would fuck up, he would Is Nurse Jackie accurate? Are nurses popping pills, fucking each other all the time? Not really. You get in trouble if you pop pills because they keep pretty tight track of like when you pull out narcotics and stuff. Obviously there were nurses that would get in trouble for that kind of shit. Like, give a patient a certain amount of morphine or Dilaudid or some shit like that and then inject it into themselves. Nurses would be popping pussy. That's what they'd be doing. Hospitalist here. I work 7 12-hour shifts in a row, 12 off, pretty tired. Yeah, it seems like a pain in the ass, and not even it just seems hard. I've observed them for years in the hospital, and I looked at like the fact that they constantly have to make like decisions for people's care, but have to do it for so many people, and then constantly be on the move and be held responsible for every little fucking decision. I mean, obviously at the end of the day, it's probably a lot of just like pattern recognition. You're like, oh, this guy has this, bibbidi bobbidi boo, let's do these tests, shimmy shammy she, and like that is cool, but at the same time, I don't know, I feel like I would go bonkers eventually. Even though there were some doctors who had been there for years and you could tell that they like really, really enjoyed being top dick, you know what I mean? Like they just enjoyed like letting out a little quip before telling you what to do. At which point I would usually like kind of like squirt them in the eye with a little bit of like a little water gun that I had. They wouldn't know where it came from. They'd be like walking away and they'd just get squirt in the side of the eye. And then I'd already be in the lounge room eating pudding. You just found out you have hypertension. I'm sorry to hear that, Arlene. Hopefully you can... wonder if we can fix that. It might be just from lack of sleep. Honestly, it's like sleep is like the fucking thing, dude. Oh, Arlene. Here, I have a thing for you. You might... I mean, hopefully you're not on like too many medications for sleep already, but there's a shit that I get from Amazon. I take it every night. But basically, it's just like based around magnesium. But it's from at least the one that I've been using right now seems to be helping me. What the fuck is it? Sleep. God damn it. Sorry. It's a sleep medication from Jocko. It's on Amazon. And I can read you. Yeah, it's called Good Night Jocko Fuel. It's not supposed to be like hardcore or anything like that. But basically, it just has vitamin B6, magnesium, aspartate, zinc. And then it has this other shit on here, which is negligible, I feel like, but Vita Cherry Sport, whatever the fuck that is, valerian root, L-tryptophan, L-theanine, lavender extract. And the idea with the magnesium, I guess, is basically just to help you get into REM sleep, get to sleep faster and get REM sleep faster so that, like, you can get quality sleep and go through the healing process that's necessary with sleep more, I guess, readily or quicker. And it has really helped me, I'll be honest with you. It really has. To the point where like 6 hours, 5 hours of sleep feels sometimes like 7 or 8. Whereas if I don't take it, I find that I just feel like poopy shit, Obviously also exercise is good too, but exercise is hard to come by if you're working so many hours and stuff, or even have the energy to do it. What do you think is the best Thanksgiving food? I've been watching for a while. Love and response. Hey, no worries. Definitely stuffing. Just like a nice moist stuffing with good seasoning. Magnesium also helps you absorb melatonin better. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I don't think this stuff has melatonin in it, but you probably want to avoid taking melatonin because it's like a natural hormone within your body that if you continue to take it, it might encourage your body not to produce as much. As long as it doesn't have melatonin, I'm good. That kills my mental state because bad depression for me. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, and winter's tough too, for sure, without the vitamin D3. And I have this other stuff that's like, vitamin D3 droplets with like vitamin K or some shit. That's supposed to help that absorb, but Dude, I swear to God, when it goes dark, when it starts getting dark at 3, I'm just like, what the fuck happened? Was it not just August? Like, not that long ago? Tryptophan. Yeah, I'm not sure about tryptophan. I remember like some people saying that that was the feeling that you were feeling after eating a big meal on Thanksgiving, was just like your blood sugar dropping because you consumed so many carbohydrates in a rapid succession. But I don't know, maybe. The CPAP machines. Dude, I want to get a CPAP machine. I know that sounds stupid because like you need to have like serious issues or be a certain, get a prescription for it or whatever. But like, I feel like getting a CPAP machine should not be that fucking hard. Like they need to, if there's some sort of regulation on keeping people from just like in basic population from getting a CPAP machine, they should change that, because I've heard people like fucking love it. What state I am in? I'm in Pennsylvania. Oh, you listen to me to fall asleep? That's it. Well, hey, yeah, if it works too. Honestly, I don't know. It's so weird when people say that my voice helps them fall asleep. Not because of that specifically, but because of how effective it is for people, and it makes me feel good. I'm like thankful that it works, but it's crazy to me. I'm like, you had a really bad sleep, and then you listened to me, and now it's good. Like that's just awesome. So thank you for letting me know. And I'm glad you can get some Z's. Listening to Let's Read on a Night Walk, yeah. They're gonna get ya. Okay. Sorry. I'm distracted. What age do you need a CPAP at? Dude, I don't know. There's like bodybuilders who are like in incredible shape, but they like got a CPAP machine, and then they're just like, my sleep is just so good, because I think as their muscles get bigger and their necks get thicker, it just kind of makes them snore and not get great amount of oxygen whilst resting. I wear cloth headphones and sleep mask, and I'm out like a light. Nice, dude. I guess you would be probably pretty exhausted as well. Maybe think about taking magnesium, even if you know that you're going to fall asleep fast, just to like super speed up your quality of sleep and recovery, and then you won't feel as sweepy. You were thinking of a pap smear. Yeah, is it a CPAP or a CPAP smear? See my pap smear. Alright, sorry, anyways. Moving as quietly as you'd arrived, the three of you begin the long, arduous process of Fuck. I can't fucking read, dude. It's so funny whenever you fuck up, because you're like, why did my mouth even do that? I don't even know why that. Do I have any pets? I do. I have a kitty cat. Pradeep, he's right here. Yay! Hi, buddy. He's behind me. No, sorry. I was gonna say navigating. Sorry. Okay. Anyways, moving on. Moving as quietly as you'd arrived, the three of you began the Jesus Christ, the larduous. Dude, I swear to God, I'm dyslexic, but it's all good. I got like 1% dyslexia. That's my genetic makeup. The land of dyslexia. Hey, see you, Lucas. Moving as quietly as you'd arrived, the three of you began the long, arduous process of navigating from the biocontainment facility of 74-B all the way to the derelict laboratories you'd first stepped foot in. You retrace your steps along miles and miles of pitch-black corridors, heart-pounding with the prospect of your imminent freedom. Yet the excitement is dulled, tinged even by the legion of unanswered questions that claw at your conscience. Why can't you remember anything?
What happened to the people here? And what kind of reception awaits you on the surface? Will you be paid, thanked, or hailed as heroes? Or will you be returned to the dark, dreamless void from whence you came? You try not to think about it. You certainly don't share your thoughts or feelings with your companions. No doubt they're wondering the same things too, but speculation is pointless. Answers will be forthcoming. The silence is a comforting shroud. Its breaking will be a warning. There comes a moment when the three of you pass an open doorway, the interior a void of impenetrable darkness. The gunner is to your front, the engineer to your rear, and as he passes the open threshold behind you, a dry, raspy voice croaks from the dark interior. "Help me." All three of you freeze. The voice was like nails on a chalkboard. It commands your undivided attention. "Help. Please. Help me." A few seconds of silence pass. None of you dare move a muscle. Then slowly the engineer begins to walk towards the open doorway. "What are you doing?" The gunner hisses, but the engineer doesn't listen. He just keeps on treading towards the unobstructed entrance, his headlamp jumping from surface to surface as he searches for the survivor. Impulsively, you follow. If someone else is trapped down here with you, it would be one cruel unit. It's night for me. I'm probably gonna fall asleep to this. No worries. Good to see you. Your favorite ASMR channel. How do I take the channel to the next level, though? Is that even possible anymore? Or actually possible? Because I was looking at my channel, like analytics and stuff, and it's so interesting. Like, even whenever a video doesn't do very well, the daily views stay so consistent, as if though, like, you have a bunch of pressure gauges, and one of the pressure gauges doesn't fill up all the way to the top or whatever, so it just diverts the pressure over to like other gauges, which would be the videos, and then the views end up being very similar. And once in a while a video really pops and it helps kind of bring things up just a tad, but for the most part I would honestly say that like views on the channel have just kind of like stagnated at like, I mean, it's good views. Like 5 million views a month is awesome. Yeah, I gotta collab with Jensen. We gotta do an OnlyFans collab. Like our feet. It's just our feet, like toes interlocked. That'd be funny. I don't know. Surface to surface as he searches for the survivors. That was some damn good enunciation. Did I say that? I don't even remember reading that. Yeah, that would be the official foot reveal, or like both of our tootsies. We would have to get some, pedicures right before we do it. That'd be sick. Open a fitness channel. Yeah, I don't even know. I have no interest really in that. Like, I barely feel like I know enough for myself. Yeah, you need to do a halftime show between videos. That'd be so funny. Every Let's Read video gets like a full-on Super Bowl halftime show. Hey, Galactic Bitch, no worries. Good to see you. Long acrylic toenails, yeah. Our toenails like intertwine like roots in a tree. If someone else is trapped down here with you, it would be cruel beyond measure to simply leave them to die. You imagine yourself in the same position, envisioning the pure maddening terror of being abandoned down here in the cold and the dark. Suddenly, you see him. Propped in the corner is another of your number. His mask is identical, his overalls a dead match for your own, yet he remains perfectly still. There's no rising and falling in his chest. He does not react when both you and the engineer illuminate him in the beams of your headlamps. You take a few steps closer. The engineer stops. Both of you can now see the holes in the rubber of his gas mask, the cracks in its jet black visor, and the yellowing bone of the bear's skull which lies beneath. Dead men don't speak, at least not with the living. In which case, where was the voice coming from? As if to answer your question, the voice once again breaks the dead silence. Help me, it says, the consonants bubbling, melting from a human's voice into that of something unspeakable, something that's perched on the ceiling directly above you. As you crane your neck, and the beam of your headlamp hits the thing that's attached itself to the ceiling, graying organic matter recoils as if unaccustomed to its shine. At its base, the only thing... Joel's Daily News. That would be interesting. I don't feel like I would be able to give any, good analysis on it, though, because that's just not my forte. I mean, I like to listen to people's, political takes and news takes and shit, but I can't say that I've, somehow derived a solid ability to kind of analyze anything. Or relationship advice? It just depends on what specifically you want to ask about. Probably need a little bit more specifics. Pacific Ocean specifics. At its base, the thing appears partially human. The shape and articulation of its pallid, ashen limbs. Is pallid the word? Is that the right word? I don't think I've seen pallid before. DJ Pallid. DJ Pallid. It is pallid. Alright, cool. Hey, C with the 5 says, great content, bro. Thanks. You're welcome, my friend. Thank you. Good to see ya. Another one. Well, this girl and I are really in love, and she's leaving for the military for basic training, and I'm scared things will be different when she comes back. Well, Charlie, not to be a negative Nance or anything like that, but long distance is very difficult. And there may be a chance in which, well, I guess if she's leaving for basic, what is that, 6 weeks? 6 weeks? Right? Something like that? But, in life, there's going to be a lot of changes. And there's definitely going to be a lot of changes, since if you're saying she's leaving for basic, that probably means that you guys are just getting out of high school or something. I think. I'm imagining. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of changes, for everybody from the ages of 18 to, 22 when you graduate college or graduate whatever and go to different places. And you kind of just have to be cool with that and understand that nothing in life is permanent other than yourself. So my best kind of advice is to just focus on, obviously care about that person if they do wish to continue the relationship. But, focus on yourself, focus on your future as well. It's not highly advised to, chase after someone. It's very difficult, as they say, to, chase after your goals, but also chase after a loved one at the same time. Because, at least when you're young, because it's difficult to arrive at that finish line without being pulled towards that direction of the relationship, that of which sometimes is not guaranteed. And they also, you never know what people, well, I don't want to say anything negative there, but you just never know how people will change. And that is a definitive possibility that will happen in the short period of time that is post-college type thing. So, yeah, just focus on yourself, focus on your schooling or business or your physical health, all that kind of stuff. And even if they do decide to go a different direction, or you guys decide to go different directions, you will have already been setting up a foundation
You know what I mean? For a better you that is better for yourself, that future you is going to thank and be like, oh, thank God I started working out, or thank God I, did school for this or whatever. I'm not saying school is always the answer, but, like there's always tech schools and things like that to become, a welder or a fucking nurse or all sorts of variations. Maybe you consider, well, I'm not saying you have to consider the military, because that's also not always advisable too, because some people find it miserable, to be honest with you. But yeah, long story short, just don't forget about yourself, no matter how important the other person is, because yeah, I'm not even sure what I'm trying to say. Do I prefer legs, arms, or abs? Like for working out? Probably legs. I'm just a lot stronger in my legs than my upper body. Yeah, because I look back on anybody from, I guess there was one couple from my middle school who are married now, who actually stayed together, but they were kind of on again, off again throughout forever. But I guess sometimes that period of your life and development, if you're really that tight, sometimes people do come back together. There was some high school sweethearts. Well, one couple I remember that they were also sort of an on again, off again type thing, but are now married to each other. So I guess it's not absolutely abnormal for that to happen, but it would just be something that you would have to discuss with each other prior. Yeah. But I would say statistically, most people, once they get to school and stuff, they just kind of move on with their lives and kind of grow into their new lives. What's this? The figure appears prostrate for. Wait. Oh, I see. As its base, where am I even? Oh, the organic matter. That's right. Any advice on finding a man? Yeah, just walk outside, I guess, Go to the nearest Walmart or under a bridge, usually. A lot of men hide under bridges. Sometimes men are actually train conducters, so if you like trains, you could just walk onto one of those. What you should do is open your window. Well, no, first bake a pie, right? Make a homemade pie, all the ingredients homemade, including the crust. Don't skimp any corners here. Open your window and leave the pie right on there, but be sure to be singing a song, but one of those ones that you can that the birds will also sing with you. You kind of have to have a bit of a connection with nature. And somewhere along that lines, I have a feeling that some type of prince should just appear out of the bushes, either enticed by the singing or pie. At its base, the thing appears partially human. The shape and articulation of its pallid, ashen limbs is hauntingly familiar, yet the sticky, viscous substance they secrete is frighteningly inhuman. The figure's prostrate forehead touching the metal ceiling as if in a prayer, yet shouting from their shoulders, "Fuck." The figure's prostate... What? The figure's prostate is sticking out. I can see your prostate. The figure's prostrate forehead touching the metal ceiling as if in prayer. What is it? What did I fuck this up? Wait, how far did I get? Oh my gosh. The figure appears prostrate. Forehead touch. Does this make sense grammatically? The figure appears prostrate. Forehead touching the metal ceiling as if in prayer. Okay, that makes sense. It shouted from its prostate. That's where I should be. You guys are telling me I should be doing diaphragmatic. I should be, when I do my screamo growl for like metal band, you said I should be using my diaphragm, but really I should be singing it from your prostate. The figure appears prostrate. What does that even mean? I'm very prostrate. Imagine if someone came up to you and said, I am so prostrate right now. My prostate is prostrate. To put or throw flat with the face down as if in submission or adoration to cause. My prostate is completely prostrate. Prostrate. I can't. Fuck. That'd be a good tongue twister. The prostrate prostate. Bought insurance from Allstate. The figure appears prostrate, forehead touching the metal ceiling as if in prayer. Yet sprouting from their shoulders, back, and buttocks are dozens upon dozens of slender, silvery tendrils. They writhe over each other like a tackle box full of maggots, twisting and turning, glistening in the bright white light of your headlamp. It croaks, but the voice doesn't come from its once human throat. It comes from the tendrils, from the very core of them. They slowly begin to reach out towards the engineer, still begging for help as he began to back away. Then before... They slowly begin to reach out towards the engineer, still begging for help as he begins to back away. Then before he can turn to run, they dart toward him with lightning speed and snatch him from his feet. The engineer lets out a scream so loud and full of terror that it's like a needle being driven into your ear canal. They leap backwards as the gunner enters the room, training his shotgun on the mutated, pewter-colored limbs that keep the thing glued to the ceiling. He lines up a shot, but before he can pull the trigger, the creature uses its tendrils to drag the engineer up into the air and closer to its trembling body.
Get it off of me! Get it the fuck off of me!
The engineer screams. The gunner tries to gain a better angle, circling the unfolding chaos as you climb a desk to try to close the distance. Your mining laser is only effective at a few feet, and as much as you try, you cannot climb high enough to use it as an offensive weapon against the treacher, motherfucker.
It burns! Oh, God!
The prostate demon is killing him. It's pulling him into its prostate right now. See, this is what happens if you get too close to my asshole. Your mining laser is only effective at a few feet, and as much as you try, you cannot climb high enough to use it as an offensive weapon against the creature, but still you try. The lasers converge harmlessly just shy of the creature's former human appendages, arms and legs that are now horrifically disjointed. It does nothing but bathe the creature in a bright, violent eminence, illuminating the horror that unfolds before your eyes. The engineer struggles in the tendril's grip, but it's no good. There are too many, and they are too strong. The creature continues to make a mockery of human speech as it subdues the engineer, begging him for help as its tendrils begin to grip and tug on the edges of his gas mask.
Please, God, help me, please, please! I'm begging you, get this thing out of me!
He screeches. The creature mimics certain words and phrases, listening, learning,
as it holds him steady and tears off his mask. The action causes the engineer a great deal of pain, and the scream he lets out is an abominable one. But that's not what holds your attention for a terrible moment. What draws your eyes is the engineer's face. You recognize it. You've seen him somewhere before. You can't just place it where... Wait. Christmas-themed stories. Yippee! Hit the like button. Hit the fucking like. A Nair video, yeah. It's gonna be my second channel, just all Nair videos. I'm gonna start buying like certain creams and products to help my asshole hair grow back faster. Just so I can pump out more content. What if I did and it got more views than every one of Mr. Beast's videos? What if Mr. Beast made an asshole Nair video? What if that was his last ever video? It was just the day that he removed his asshole hair on live stream. It's technically educational. Do you think it would get to like 2 billion views? I hope so. I hope they would show it in colleges across the nation. You recognize it. You've seen him somewhere before. You just can't place where, and you can't place when. You resort to reaching out to the engineer in the hopes that you can grab a hand or a foot, but he is firmly out of reach, and the only reward for your effort is a full view of a stomach-churning violation. As the engineer's mask drops to the ground beneath him, the creature's tendrils begin to worm their way towards his face. He is utterly powerless to stop them, and as they worm their way down his throat, up his nostrils and into his ears, his screams are muffled, and then finally silence.
Drop the sample!
The gunner begins to bark.
Drop the fucking sample!
The cylinder? Fuck. The cylinder fuck. The cylinder remains in the engineer's fist, trembling in a death grip as he endures the unimaginable. The gunner responds by reorienting himself, aiming the shotgun toward the tendril-wrapped engineer. You watch in abject horror as the gunner sends 4 shells worth of metal fragments into the engineer's back. It becomes limp in the creature's grip, and the sample falls to the ground with a loud clunk. You don't need to be told to grab it. You don't need to be told to run. And within seconds of the brutal mercy killing, you and the gunner are hurtling through the dark. You run until your lungs burn, until you feel as if though it might fill your mask with vomit, and then you run some more. The gunners. Oh. A limp prostate. Do 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 do. Are you guys arguing about Jesus? Feels like you're running in circles, doesn't it? You follow the gunner's every step, the sample tightened in your grip, praying that he's correctly guiding. Wait, the sample tighten your grip. The sample tighten your grip. What is this saying? You follow the gunner's every step. The sample tighten your grip, praying that he's correct. Maybe tight in your grip. Tight in your prostate. What if that like thing that was hanging from the ceiling was singing the Doug theme song? The engineer's like, what? We gotta go help him. See you at the dance, Doug.
You follow the gunner's every step. The sample tighten your grip, praying that he's correctly guiding you through the maze of dark corridors. Then suddenly, the scenery starts feeling a little more familiar. A little s'more familiar. I thought Americans had a different theme for Doug. That'd be kind of cool. Just like depending on where it's at, it plays a different theme. We ran some studies and we found that the Brits really like this opening. Doug. Doug. Welcome back to Doug. Okay. Then suddenly, the scenery starts feeling a little more familiar. You find the maintenance stairwell, and after scrambling down a few floors, you come to the research and development section you first emerged from. You can hear your own heart thumping in your chest by the time the great medical umbilical comes into view, and for the first time in what seems like hours, the mechanical voice sounds in your ear.
Enter the controlled descent vehicle and prepare for extraction.
You and the gunner practically leap in your seats, pulling down the restraints and preemptively locking them in place. You tuck the sample in between your body and the restraints, ensuring that it won't be lost should your grip suddenly fail. You expect the vehicle to reform into its pyramid-like capsule, but it simply sits there a moment, long enough for you to hear something echoing down the corridors you've only escaped from. You expect the vehicle to reform into its pyramid-like capsule, but it simply sits there a moment, long enough for you to hear something echoing down the corridors you've only just escaped from. God help me! Come on! The gunner barks. Get us the fuck out of here! All you can do is grip your restraints, hoping beyond hope that the extraction process begins before that otherworldly horror arrives to drag you back into the dark. You greet the sudden sounds and sensations of the capsule reforming with electric relief. You're almost there, almost out of the dark, but not quite yet.
Cage stability optimal,
The mechanical voice says.
Prepare for ascent in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
In the moments before the capsule begins to rise back up along heavy titanium rails, pretty... Stop, please. Come here. Lay here. It just like rips the shit out of my fucking... I need to cut his nails. I can't remember where I was.
Cage stability optimal,
The mechanical voice says. Dude. No. Come on. Jumping back up. Hey, come on. He rolls over. Oh, I can't even touch him. Dude, I have these headphones where every time I touch Pradeep, it just sends like shocks through it. So fucking annoying. There we go. Oh, what's up, Ashlyn? Dude, he's just crazy, bro. What is going on? Why does he keep doing this? Can you join the cult? Absolutely. Alice Pradeep. He's good, but he's just like starved for attention right now. I don't know why. I don't even remember where the fuck I was. Cage stability optimal. The mechanical. I have to like put my face close to the mic when I do that. This is culture. Cage stability optimal. The mechanical voice says. Prepare for ascent in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In the moments before the capsule begins to rise back up along heavy titanium rails, something slams into it. In the moments before the capsule begins to rise back up along heavy titanium rails, something begins. Jesus Christ, I'm out of fucking brain juice right now. I'm tired. I don't want to read any more of this story. Pet him while reading. I guess I could. I just don't really have a spot for him since I stand up. If I was sitting in a chair, he could just sit in my lap the whole time, but that's just not really the vibe, sadly. Yeah, I mean, there's really no point in, touting, pounding, doing, Bible thumping in the chat or whatever, and then there's no point in engaging with it either. Because there was, what's the fucking verse where Jesus is like, if people don't accept your thing, just, dust off your sandals and move on. So I ask anybody that tries to push religion, just dust off your sandals and move on, please. In the moments before the capsule begins to rise back up along heavy titanium rails, something slams into its exterior, causing it to violently shake as the hum of machinery begins to rise in intensity. The creature's gray tendrils begin to slither into the capsule as it clings to the metal exterior. They force their way through every crack and seam, probing for you, hunting for you. The gunner opens fire at point-blank range. Rage. Right, it gives you the choice. So, you've given everyone the choice. So, just leave them alone now, okay? You don't need to keep talking about it, you know what I mean? Imagine if you go to someone's house and you're like, hey, do you want to believe in Jesus? And they're like, no, thank you. And then you just sit at their door all fucking day asking them why aren't you joining? That shit's annoying as fuck. The gunner opens fire at point-blank range, shredding and bursting some of the tendrils. But there are too many. They snake around the shotgun, pulling it away from him before another set jerk forward. They snake around the shotgun, pulling it away from him before another set jerks forward and punches into his abdomen. He lets out a roar of agony as they snake their way through his insides, wreaking some hair... Man, I cannot fucking keep up. Ugh. He lets out a roar of agony as they snake their way through his insides, wreaking some terrible, unknowable devastation. You watch as the tendrils turn on you,
You try to lean away in your seat, but the restraints hold you in place, forcing you to watch as the glistening, wet tendrils worm closer and closer and closer. They begin to touch you, wrapping around your hands, then your arms, icy cold yet slick with mucus. You writhe and buck, willing yourself to close your eyes so you don't have to see what comes next. But you can't. Terror pries them open and forces you to bear witness. One of the tendrils reaches the plexiglass of your visor, poking and prodding for a moment before it's joined by multitudes more. You watch, frozen as several of the tendrils seem to shiver and shake, prompting the emergence. Hey, Megumi Muse, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships, that is, to Chronic Page Dentise.
Mischievous dog.
Pradeep's got the fucking zoomies, bro. He's nuts. Frankie the Chihuahua, Angelica DS, and Jazzy T. Thank you, Megumi. Appreciate you. Yeah, this is turning into a fucking hentai story with the tentacles.
Mischievous dog.
You watch, frozen, as several of the tendrils seem to shiver and shake, prompting the emergence of sharp black spines. They reel back, as if preparing to smash their way through your visor. But just as a wave of terrible acceptance begins to wash over you, the mass of tendrils is torn away, as something smashes into the creature clinging to the capsule's exterior. It's over so fast you can barely compute it. 1 second, you are in the final few moments of your life, the last few seconds of relative comfort before being butchered by some subterranean abomination. Then the next second, there is safety, salvation, victory. Tears well in your eyes as you grip the restraints, feeling the great umbilical dragging back to the land of the living. You feel the cylinder containing the sample still wedged between your body and the restraints, right where it should be, right where it belongs, and as a familiar screeching of steel signals a steady decelerate.
What the fuck? What is he doing, brother? He's such a troll, dude. Can you hear him running across the ceiling? Jesus Christ. Story climax yet? I think we're kind of got there or something. I don't really know. I like the story, but I feel like it kind of played out a little bit like... I'm not even sure how you would describe it, honestly. Yeah, Pradeep is going like full fucking... Too many tendrils. Pradeep is covered in tendrils right now.
You watch, frozen as several of the tendrils seem to shiver and shake, prompting the emergence of shark.
Wait, what the fuck? I was already here.
Tears well up in your eyes as you grip the restraints, feeling the great umbilical dragging back to the land of the living. You feel the cylinder containing the sample still wedged between your body and the restraints, right where it should be, right where it belongs. And as a familiar screeching of steel signals a steady deceleration, you finally entertain an idea that you wouldn't have dared to over...
Jesus fucking Christ.
And as a familiar screeching of steel signals a steady deceleration, You finally entertain an idea that you wouldn't have dared to over the previous few hours. I'm safe, you tell yourself. Everything is going to be okay. As the capsule slows to a stop, you once again hear the sounds of raindrops hitting the exterior of the capsule. It is the single most comforting sound you can ever recall hearing. After a few moments, the capsule begins to move, and when it finally separates, you can see that you've been deposited in some kind of airlock. After your restraints unlock and rise above your head... Oh shit, what the fuck? God damn. What the fuck? Roki with a big 50 buccarinos. Thank you, my friend. I told my mom I was a furry today, and she just patted my head like you would a dog. She then just looked at me and said, I don't care what you are, but if I catch you squatting in my yard, I'll beat you with a wooden spoon. That's a good mom for you. Roki, thank you for the 50 buccarinos. Seriously, that's huge. Appreciate you. And I wish you the best of luck in your furry endeavors. Be sure to bring that costume out when we go to World War III. I'll be in the trenches with you. After a few moments, the capsule begins to move, and when it finally separates, you can see that you've been deposited in some kind of airlock. After your restraints unlock and rise above your head, you stand up and take a single step down from the small platform which contains your seat. As you turn, your gaze immediately finds the gunner. He is slumped back in his seat, deathly still, a steady stream of blood and bile oozing from the gaping hole in his abdomen. You look down at the sample, the very thing he and the engineer have given their lives for, and you are filled with a compulsion unlike any you've ever known. Placing the sample on the ground behind you, you take a few steps towards the lifeless gunner, then step up onto a seat platform. It feels like a violation, like desecrating the dead, but you have to take his mask off. You have to see his face. After getting a grip of his head and mask, you discover that the mask is most firmly attached to a... What's my fursona? My fursona is a slug. I told you guys that before. When I go around the furry cons and stuff, you can find me by just following a big trail of slime. What's today's topic? It's just creepypasta bonus content today, but it's told in sort of like the second person style. After getting a grip of his head and mask, you discover that the mask is most firmly attached to a strap anchored to the rear of his skull. You tug at it, ripping away a layer of flesh as 3 metal prongs dislodge themselves from the skull of his... This is the Matrix, what the hell? You tug at it, ripping away a layer of flesh as 3 metal prongs dislodge themselves from the bone of his skull. Then, careful not to inflict any additional mutilations, you peel back the remaining rubber from his pale and pallid face. As you toss the gunner's gas mask... Yeah, I guess. Fucking Jesus. Oh, we're close, actually. It's actually gone for 3 hours. I didn't expect that. As you toss the gunner's gas mask onto the floor behind you, you look upon his features, and you feel your heart sinking into your chest. You've seen this face many times before. It's the face of the engineer, but it's also the face of another, a face from down among the barren synapse plains of half-forgotten memory. Fearing you're about to pass out, you step back down from the platform, steadying yourself as your heartbeat and breathing begin to quicken. You try to make sense of what you're looking at, but there's no sense to be made.
The best you can hope for is to turn around and search for answers among the living. After stepping into what turns out to be a decontamination chamber, you're hosed down with vapor disinfectant, the rushing air so loud that your ears ring upon its cessation. When the inner door of the chamber opens up, you're faced with a long, sterile-looking corridor. Each section is divided by sections of lengthy plastic drapes, and you have to push your way through each one before finding yet another set of doors in front of you. The sign above them reads, Command and Control. And inside, you are quite certain that you'll find the people who saw fit to send you down into that deep, dark hole in the first place. But when you push open the doors and step into the cold, dimly lit room, all that greets you is death. There are bodies, loads of them, all equipped and dressed identically to yourself. Many appear to have been used. I feel like none of these guys would have died if not for the engineer getting distracted by that side person, that side quest. Is this like a choose your own adventure? Not really, but it's told in the second person, so it's like sort of like that, minus the actual choices. It's a choose your own adventure, but I get to choose. Many appear to have used one of the many shotguns lying around to take their own lives. They lie headless, splayed out on the ground, or sit propped up against the walls, slumped down or over, displaying their open skull cavities like hideous spring blooms. Others appear to have walked out of an open doorway before shooting themselves. Some have taken the time to remove their own masks. Others couldn't wait to die with the wind on their faces. Only a handful have faces that appear intact or recognizable, but all are identical to those of the gunner and engineer. You don't have to see the faces of the dead or decayed to know what they look like. You might be without memory, but you're not without a brain. Not a single living soul remains in the command and control center. It's just as much a graveyard as a facility underground. But this is not what crushes the last of your hope. This is not what snatches away the final remnants of your sanity. As you schmip, Sherman. As you step towards the open threshold, you look out onto a dead planet. The sea of dusty charcoal soil that stretches out before you is so vast and unending that it makes your head spin, and although a steady stream of drizzle falls from roiling, iron-gray clouds. Roiling? Wouldn't it be rolling? What is roiling? Sounds very British. Present royal. What is royal? To make liquid turbulent or muddy or cloudy, stirring up sediment. Oh, okay. Sage Estrada with the tenses. Joe, I'm gonna need to know if you're hot. Regardless, I love your voice in these stories. I'm hot as fuck, baby. You know that. You already know what it is. But Sage, thank you so much for the 10. I appreciate you. Oh, man. Roiling. Roiling is a form of cooking things in the oven. You gotta set it to a roil. You gotta bring the water to a roil. And although a steady stream of drizzle falls from roiling iron-gray clouds, there's not a scrap of greenery to be seen. On a wall near the open doorway, someone has used a mining laser to cut 3 short words into the cold metal alloy. It won't stop. The message reads. For a moment, you stop and wonder if you should find the courage to join your departed brothers. There's no hope above the surface, only dark spaces and unanswered questions. yet it is the latter which keeps your finger from the trigger. At your feet you spot a single trail of footprints in the earth leading off onto the desolate horizon. If you follow, you will die of thirst, lost out there in that vast charcoal desert. But when you die, at least you will die on the surface. At least you will die in the light. Have you heard any banshee stories? What's banshee? Like the mythical thing from Irish lore? I actually think I have read some of those, honestly, back in the pre-paranormal days. I guess I don't have to read an outro for this one, because there is no outro since it's bonus content. But I want to thank you guys for coming to this bonus stream. Tomorrow, as I said, tomorrow at 7 p.m. EST, there will be a new compilation video coming out. Over 2.5 hours of remastered audio. But if you did become a member tonight or gifted somebody a membership, thank you so much, as you will now have available to you bonus content, or more bonus content. So it puts us at 26 videos, so be sure to check out the playlist for that. Also, if you prefer to hear it over on Patreon, that's $5 tier over there, wherever you prefer. Even though the YouTube side gets you some cool emojis. Hell yeah, brother. But otherwise, yeah, I'll be back streaming on Tuesday. Some spooky stories. So I hope you guys can be around for that. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at Let's Read to be kept up to date when I go live. Otherwise, hit that notification bell over here. Check out videos right when they come out. I always appreciate that. And then, yeah, there'll be a new podcast every Tuesday at noon. But otherwise, friends, oh, and Jackie Chan, thank you for the gift too. Iris, perfect timing, Iris. There you go. But otherwise, guys, I want to thank you for coming out. I was actually thinking, well, maybe we finished early. We could, because I don't know, sometimes you finish early with bonus content because it's shorter. But this was like a solid, like, typical video length and girth. So I kind of had to finish as is. Oh shit, and I have to wake up tomorrow for a phone call. Fuck. Oh shit. It hasn't made the sound yet, but now I can see it popping up. Roki with a big 50. I'll be sure to twerk when the music kicks in, but it's the perfect camouflage. No one would expect a big dog to be packing an LMG. Jesus Christ. If I get detected, I can just be a dog. See you in the trenches. Oh, right. I was like, sorry. You meant World War III. I was like, I thought you were talking about like a convention. I was like, oh, this is not good. We're getting the pre-workings of a mass murderer here. But Roki, thank you again for another big $50-rinos. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. We'll see you in the battlefield. And Audrey with the two says, good night, Pookie gives wet kiss. Prank. Just a prank. It's just a prank, bro. But much love to you guys. Take care tonight. And yeah, we'll keep you updated on social media. And obviously when the notification goes, when this bonus content is up and live. So keep an eye out for that. Otherwise, adios, my friends. And I will see you again soon. Thank you so much for the support. You guys rock. Bye bye.